Welcome back to the WIAA Football Playoff Bracket Reveal Show. We have 3 divisions down, 4 to go. And let's move right into Division 4, where Racine St. Catharines is the defending champion. In Section 1, it's the 1 seed going to the Blue Golds of La Crosse Aquinas, who went undefeated, closing things out with a 49-0 win over Viroqua last night. Amory will be next in line for Aquinas. Ellsworth, Osceola, conference rivals clashing as the 4 and 5. Lodi the 3, Platteville the 6, and then Baldwin-Woodville, the Middle Border Conference champ, gets Ashland in level 1.
Alrighty, we'll switch gears right into Section 2 here in our Division 4 bracket. Winneconne, one of the other 3 1 seeds, the Wolves finished undefeated as Bay Conference champions. They will get Milwaukee North Lifelong Learning. Seymour and Altoona set to clash as the 4-5. Oconto Falls and Wrightstown, the 3-6. And then at the bottom of your screen, Kettle Moraine Lutheran getting in as the 7 seed and will head to Freedom.
Section 3, Columbus will host Brown Deer, Delavan, Darien, and Waupun, the 4-5. Evansville, the 3, against Shoreland Lutheran, and then Mosinee and Turner rounding out the 2-7.
And in our final section here in our Division 4 bracket, Racine St. Catharines, the 1 seed. They're set to host St. Francis. Edgerton and Lake Mills, the 4-5. Berlin earning a 3 seed here and will host West Salem. Ripon, the 7, and will head to Little Chute.
So La Crosse Aquinas sits on the top line of the bracket after another undefeated season. Our Scott Emmerich caught up with Blue Gold's head coach Tom Lee.
Hey guys, yeah, this is a loaded Division 4 field, and one of the favorites is right here in La Crosse Aquinas, the Blue Golds, and head coach Tom Lee. And Tom, you made it all the way to the state semifinals last year, undefeated this year. How much of a motivating factor was it for you guys to get back and be hot going into the playoffs?
Yeah, I think the boys were super motivated. They want to get back to Camp Randall. It's a really fun place to play, so they want to be a part of that again.
You guys have been a part of some really deep playoff runs the last few years. State champs in Division 5 3 years in a row before moving up to Division 4. What does it take to be successful this time of year?
You know what? It's a couple of things. You got to be good and talented. That helps. You got to be healthy, and you got to be a little lucky. So sometimes you make your own luck. We think we're pretty good. Our health is pretty good. We think we should be back to full strength by the time of round 1 of the playoffs, and then we'll take our chance with our luck.
A little coaching too, though, right?
I hope so, yeah.
What do you like about how your team is playing right now? Because really, you've only been tested twice this year, Columbus, West Salem late. You passed both tests with flying colors.
Yeah, that's a good question. They practice like champions. They don't care. It's kind of a nameless, faceless opponent every week. They are super process-oriented. Our coaches are, our staff is, and the boys are because of that. So they've done everything we asked of them. Tom
Lee and the Aquinas Blue Golds, raring and ready to go. Back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Scott. Now we'll take a full look at our Division 4 bracket, and we'll bring in Travis Wilson. Travis, what sticks out to you here immediately? We just heard from Aquinas, always a tough out this time of year. Columbus up there is a 1 seed, a lot of tough teams in a deep Division 4 field.
Yeah, a lot of teams that I think are legitimate state championship contending teams. Aquinas, Columbus, Winneconne, Baldwin-Woodville, Racine St. Catharines, the defending champion. Their only loss came when they were missing a number of players in kind of a fluke upset. But a lot of teams that are challenging for that championship. We haven't really talked a lot about the tournament performance factor and some of the elevations. Of course, that's the situation for Aquinas. They're elevated from D5 to Division 4 once again. Other teams that were in that boat, Badgers up into Division 1. Stratford and Edgar, who we talked about earlier, were part of an elevation due to tournament performance factor. So that is coming into play for some of these teams. But again, Division 4, a really strong division with some really elite teams at the top.
Performance factor, nothing new. The playoff matrix is something new. I guess, how do these teams, or I guess what do I want to say? Excuse me here. The playoff matrix, or the performance factor, coaches are aware of that coming into the season. Here's my thought. Allows them to schedule teams that they want to do. Stratford, for example, scheduling some divisions higher. Edgar taking on teams higher. I'm sure Aquinas does the same. Is that something that many coaches are aware of is going to have effects on them later in the season and are planning for week 1 heading in?
Yeah, the teams know that they're elevated when they're elevated, and that still applies on top of the playoff matrix. It's not in place of or instead of. And as we talked about real early in the show, this is the first year in a long time that teams knew what division they were in before the season started. That's a significant change for these teams. They know the teams that they might face that maybe they should start thinking about preparing for or doing a little bit of early scouting on. And so again, that's a significant change on top of all of the other changes that we've discussed already.
First two teams out here, Campbellsport and St. Thomas More. After the break, we turn our attention to Division 3. You're watching the WIAA Football Playoff Bracket Reveal Show.